Classes only. It
What
needs
else do
2
robots do?
classes. Robot is the first
Robots do
one.
anything? They do anything else?
They dance.
That's it. That's all they do for this game. Is just
What's the difference between one robot and another robot?
different colors.
Different colors. So we'll probably store their color. Now, for storing their color, what do we need to store, do you think?
Enum.
I asked this. Let's look at a game that's all done in ASCII characters. Right, stuff like this is stuff that we can do. Although actually this isn't truly ASCII, it's an ASCII shader. This is more accurate. A lot of old games were done this way. With just a lot of characters. For our robots, I'm imagining we can store their color as a single letter. Some kind of char. Our board will probably look something like this. Maybe there's walls in here. Alright, I want to be able to print out something like this. This is a really plain looking board right now, but you get the idea. So what should our, actually this could just be spaces, my goodness, let me use my noggin. That would have been messy to look at. So there's a wall coming off here maybe. Oh, no, so write stuff like that, where we can make a whole board this way. I don't care if your board matches an exact board from the game. It's your own chance to design a board if you'd like. A robot might be represented by a letter. You see the 4 robots?
Red, blue, green, yellow.
Yep. If red were to move to the right, we would end up over there. Everyone get it?
Yeah.
Cool. I think what we'll do in class right now is just kind of make a nicely formatted board. While I think the board isn't necessarily difficult, there's not any problem solving to it. It's just kind of a pain sometimes to do this type of work. So I want to make sure everyone has their visual display going. But this is going to turn into a final project, which means this is your only homework, is to continue development on your Ricochet robots.
Is the board randomized or?
I don't think we'll do random. I think we will input our own boards. So make sure that all works. I do not want random boards. We just want to make sure the walls kind of are placed in places that make sense. Your walls don't necessarily have to be the equal sign. You can do whatever you want. And on the turn, it'll ask you which robot you would you like to move, and in which direction would you like to move him. And then it will show you its updated position. So we have a robot. We have a robot class. He's probably going to have some. Can you sound set, please? Thank you. He's going to have probably a move function. This will probably be a set of instructions. And he'll store his own color. Since that's a char, that's going to be the data type for it. What else do we need? So if we create this class called robot, if our robot class, right, every time we create a robot object from the robot class, that robot will know how to move. If someone tells the robot to move, he will say, I know how to move. Maybe if you give me the direction, I'll do the rest myself.
Like int?
What's that?
Is that like an int?
Is what like an int?
Straight or something? Or straight line?
I wrote void. That means this has no return type. We'll get to that in a second. Actually, int's not a bad idea. But my point is, let's break the robot into variables and functions.
Meets a location.
So right now we have some functions that's going to be called move. He's going to have some variable that keeps track of his own color. Oh. What data type did I say color should be?
Is it
Char.
an enum?
A char.
A char.
We could do an enum. That's not a bad idea, but I think we'll just do a char. An enum would be a good idea if we were going to display this with some, if we didn't know how we were displaying, but I've told you we're only going to display as characters, so we can make it a char. Right, so how many robots will we need to make?
4.
4. Who is going to make the 4 robots?
Class.
Class. Wait, we are, but we gotta make it into a class, right?
What I mean is, in our code, where does any code start? What's the first thing that runs?
Data type.
Oh, the main.
Instructions.
The main function. Everything always begins at main. If we have some kind of robot class, if I wanted to make 4 robots, I would declare the data type for it, which is robot. Maybe I'll call him red robot. Robot. Blue robot. So when I say who's going to make the robots, I mean which code is going to create them. This is just the blueprint. This is the blueprint being used. It's in use now by this variable. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So, do we want the main function to create our robots?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Why not?
I will say nay. I want us to make one more class. It can be called Ricochet Robots or Robot Manager, whatever you want to call it.
Robot boss.
You can call it Game Manager if you like. I think I'm going to name my project Robo Bounce.
I was just thinking.
Right, that way it's still bouncing robots, but it's my bouncing robots. What kind of variables will we have in here? What would RoboBounce need to keep track of?
What?
The robots. So here's where we would then create the robots. So when I said who's creating our robots, this other class will do it. Something like this. Etc.
So every time you put RoboBounce, it'll create all 4 robots?
If I create a single RoboBounce, if I create one RoboBounce, and here's me creating one. This is the blueprint, and I'm going to use the blueprint. Game Manager, I can learn to spell, has these variables stored. So Game Manager will keep track of the robots. We'll communicate with Game Manager.
Wait, where's Game Manager?
Where is Game Manager?
Yeah.
It's right here.
You just made it.
Correct.
Where does it reference to?
I created a variable called Game Manager. What data type is Game Manager?
RoboBounce.
It's type RoboBounce. And what is a RoboBounce?
A class. Okay, there we go.
It's just it just holds some robots. Currently it doesn't do anything else yet. But so whenever I want to do code relating to my RoboBounce stuff, I'll put the code in here and main will simply call those functions. This was similar to Mastermind, where we had the Mastermind, and then we had the code, and the code had pegs and markers, and the pegs would keep track of their colors, and all that stuff. This will be simpler because we just have the Game Manager, and we have the robots. Robots know how to move, and they keep track of their color. RoboBounce keeps track of the robots. So for now, we're going to focus on making sure this board works. But note that in our blueprints, in our plan for this program, we only need 2 classes. Okay? And now, I was trying to do this a second ago, but I was not having any luck. So I want to make a character board, and I want it to be 2-dimensional. I think I should have.
How do you make a board?
I made an array, a 2-dimensional array. It's got 2 of type star. So this just keeps track of the characters. Now the board, does the board know where every robot is?
No.
It does not. It's going to store characters. So whenever you move a robot, someone needs to tell the board to update. So even though I'm ready in my main function, I'll probably move this inside of my manager. But I just want to make sure, because you should be able, the question earlier was, are we using a random board? And I said we're making our own. I should be able to do this. Now, let me test it with a smaller array.
White light.
The character.
Balance. Where be the balance at?
This gives me an error with this. What am I doing wrong here? I'm gonna lose my mind. I can't figure out why this isn't working. Since I can't figure out why this isn't working, I'm gonna double check some other code I've written before. But otherwise, you can just kind of take some time to plan out how you want to do this. Like I said, there's no real deadline for today or next week. This is your final project.